Hello and welcome to Media Moment. I'm Carol Lindsay, and today we are talking with Alisa Keller, who is a production assistant at ActonTV. Welcome, Alisa.
Thank you.
Alisa, you have the distinction of being the female employee, the only one of ActonTV, and I want to congratulate you on that. You produce consistently shows for ActonTV, and what are the shows that you produce?
I cover the finance committee meetings and the school board meetings, and then occasionally other things will come up that I'll do, such as the League of Women Voters meetings.
Great. So how did you get started on this path, this production path?
I actually got started wanting to get into animation as a young kid, wanting to work for Disney. And so I initially was devoting all my time to drawing and doing work like that. But then as I started getting into high school, I also added music as a potential. I play the flute.
Oh, beautiful.
So that was another thing I thought, well, maybe I can also get into music department. And then several years back, I just kind of started to think that, I still love the animations, it's a passion of mine, but I was afraid that what if I get doing it as a job and then it turns from something I love into, oh God, work. And so I actually was just looking through the community ed book for Acton, and saw that ActonTV was doing a free video production class a few years back, and I thought, well, it sounds like fun. I love film, and figured it's a free class. Why not take it? And that just kind of from taking that one free class, that actually was how I got my job here.
Excellent.
I signed up for the mailing email list to be a volunteer. Got an email, hey, we're looking for a production assistant.
Awesome. And that's how it happened. That's so great. And so now you have a blend of the art and the business. And it seems like it's working for you. I mean, it is, of course, work. I mean, when I went to a committee meeting, I saw you filming it, and I saw a school committee meeting here in Acton. You were very intent and focused, and you really just could not take your eyes for a moment off of what was going on, because you had to change with people talking, and so there's a lot of concentration involved, and long hours. That was a long meeting. That meeting was from 7 o'clock to what was it, 11?
Yeah, it was at least 11 o'clock.
Yeah. So you are definitely working. But also it is an art form, putting together the film in such a way that is interesting and goes with the flow of the conversation. And there's time constraints. It has to be a certain amount of time in the show. So that's the tricky thing, probably, is figuring out where to, because I'm learning this now too, where to say, well, maybe that's more important than this, and that's a really personal call on that. So yeah, that's an art form, definitely. Well, congratulations on that. Yay.
Yeah, thank you.
So how did you get started in production originally? I know that you explained how you got started here at ActonTV. So what is the origin of your artistic talent? What do you like to do that kind of led into this love of animation and things like that?
Just watching the Disney movies as a kid, it was something that, I'd watch them, and I just thought it was so amazing how, it's just a cartoon character. It's not real, but they do things so well that for that time that you're watching it, you can almost kind of forget that it's just a cartoon, and you can really get into it. And to be able to make it, especially for a kids, seem almost so real. It was just something that I was amazed by the talent that goes into it.
Well, there's a reason why Disney is timeless, right?
Oh, yeah.
Disney is timeless because of the storylines and the animation. And also, I do understand that you draw.
Yes.
You draw, and what are your favorite subjects to draw? Disney?
Mostly Disney,
Mostly
but
Disney?
I do draw other, cartoons from other studios as well, and I also occasionally will do portrait work. And actually, the first thing I did with that, I didn't even get into that until I was in high school. My freshman year, I had done a portrait drawing of Orlando Bloom, and kind of held on to that for a little while, and then I actually entered it in a young artist contest, a competition that
Really?
my area was doing, and so I wound up only making it through the first 2 stages, because you had
So
to get first prize to be able to make it to the next step, and I don't remember how many stages there were for it, but we started off, the small one. I wound up making it with that, and then it got sent off to the Capitol, and then I did place with that, but not high enough. So,
But
but
still,
it was still, it was like, I was
still-
thrilled just to even make it that far.
absolutely. I mean, it's also a learning experience being a part of that, and you get to be around other artists and see their work. And being around other artists is extremely important for the growing process and seeing different subjects and techniques and things like that.
Yeah,
So that was a great
yeah, some of the
experience.
stuff that-
Congratulations on making it that far.
Oh, thank you.
It's
Yeah, some of the
fabulous.
stuff that some of the other kids were doing, was phenomenal as well.
And
I think
also,
everybody put a
didn't
lot of
you
work.
just do a portrait of someone famous?
Yes,
who did
I
you do?
finished it last night, actually.
So great. Who?
Tom Hiddleston.
Oh, Tom Hiddleston. Whew. So that was fun. That was inspiring and motivating. Great. So you've taken your artistic talent and you moved it into this production genre, and you're combining the worlds of art and business. Bravo. And you're a woman in the business, and also there have been some female interns coming in, and I've been very happy with that. I think that the best thing for all art is a balance. So if you have the male point of view and you have the female point of view, really, that is the best way to present all points of view and to represent really the feelings of humanity, which is really what you're doing with art. You're really representing the feelings of humanity in your form, whatever form it is that you pick. And the visual medium is so powerful, everybody loves watching videos on YouTube, there's learning through visuals, like instruction and everything. And
Oh, yeah.
so the images are so powerful, and so that brings us to public access TV in general. I mean, what do you think of public access TV? I mean, I think that it's come very far. So where do you think, with public access TV, where do you think is the next direction or the best purpose of it? Where do you see it going at all?
Well, with the purpose of it, I think, it is a very important thing because of the fact, you do have, even though there are a lot of people that will go to the different things going on in town, whether it's a town meeting or, like you brought up, different events, like we do things at some of the events at Nara Park, we'll
Right.
cover different things. And so obviously there are a lot of people that do go to those,
Right.
but there are a lot of people that may not be able to, that,
Very good point.
either, because they are mostly kind of stay-at-home type, or they may be working that night. There's all sorts of reasons. And so rather than somebody kind of having to feel pressured if there was something they really wanted to see, like, oh, great, now I'm not going to be able to see this, we are able to provide them with the tools to be able to still see it later on, either, at home, watching on TV, or where we have gone into posting online. So, it just makes it a lot more accessible to people nowadays.
I really like your point about making things available to people who can't necessarily go, because not everybody is able to be ambulatory for whatever reason. So it's very wonderful that they can tune in and see what's going on in the community and feel like they're in touch. It's very important for the sense of community. And it is for the community, public access TV.
Yep.
So it's a great way to connect with your neighbors and friends and to be in touch with things going on. So I think that's a really great point, Alisa. And last but not least, do you have anything to say for those women out there who, I mean, there's a lot of cameramen you see walking around with a big equipment, you know, and it's very inspiring, I think, for especially such as for the young interns who are coming in here, and even for myself, you know, I really think this is a wonderful venue for people to be a part of things and to learn from. So what would you say to someone, to a young woman coming in and seeing, you know, a lot of gentlemen, you know, operating the equipment and doing things like that? What would you say to her as just a little bit of advice or wisdom or anything to add?
Well, I would definitely say not to feel daunted by it, because admittedly, when I first started working here, it was a little bit intimidating because I had learned very quickly that I was the only female.
Right.
And so, you know, just kind of going with that, I was thinking, you know, oh geez, you know, I'm the only one here. And so, but very, very quickly, the ActonTV staff, they were not only showed that they're all very nice, very friendly people, but they showed me very quickly that they were going to treat me just the same as the rest. So it was kind of like, you know, okay, so I had absolutely nothing to worry about, as it turned out.
Right. I think it's a very warm and welcoming environment here at
Definitely.
ActonTV. And you have come very far, and you stand as an example to all the young women out there who are really interested in this business, being on the other side of the camera, not just in front of it. So I'd like to thank you very much for joining me today, Alisa, and thank you for joining me today at Media Moment, and have a wonderful day.